Ever since our first breath, humankind has looked up at the night sky and wondered, what is reality? What is this world we live in, and how do we come to be here? Today, modern science has come close to answering this question and understanding our amazing universe with theories like string theory, loop quantum gravity, and quantum mechanics. But we still stumble in the presence of the question, how did this universe, our home, come to be, and why? How did something come from nothing? Most scientists are flummoxed. Yet in the shadows, a theory known only by few has managed to answer that question, and do it shockingly well. This is the set of all possible states theory, or shortened as SOAPS, proposed by author Gavin G. Orban in his book Everything Forever, a must-read. This theory deals with pattern space, or probability space, and has been called a map of timelessness, and it shows how to draw and navigate probability space. It also determines how and why time works. Probability space describes every possible state for any universe, and so far, explaining how it works has proved difficult. But wait, how did our universe come to be? The answer is simple, 0, or empty space. While most people dismiss this number as absolutely nothing, 0 is the balance point between all positive and negative numbers, and it is so far our only candidate for the creator of our universe. Today I will show you how to create a universe using only nothingness itself, without need for a celestial being or a god to push things into motion. Part 1. Creating a universe with 0. While it may seem absolutely impossible to create something out of absolute nothingness, the answer itself is relatively simple. The mathematical equation 0 equals negative x plus x. Imagine negative x to be a negative singularity and positive x to be the positive singularity. But wait a second, what if x equals infinity? Then through the equation, we would have created two infinitely powerful singularities, one positive and one negative, out of nothing, right? In the SOAPS model, the x's in the equation are known as the alpha states, the positive alpha and the negative alpha. If they have a total energy mass of 0, then they should be possible to create, right? Since it is therefore mathematically possible, then these singularities should definitely exist, popping out of completely empty space in positive and negative pairs without need for a celestial being, just like virtual particles. As many physicists say, the universe is the ultimate free lunch. Now that we have a singularity, two in fact, well, what? How do we create time to begin the Big Bang so that the singularity can become an actual universe? We need to now find the cause of time itself. The answer lies in our singularity's past and future states. Time is drawn to balance, and in this case, it wants to go to the exact center of all possible states, where past states are completely balanced out by future states. There is only one past state that it can be. It can boringly stay a singularity forever. However, there are so many more future states than past states. For example, it can become a universe where the conditions are right for life to form and survive. It can be a universe where atoms don't exist, and so stars and galaxies can't exist either. It can be a universe when, you get the point, suddenly time finds itself extremely unbalanced. There are way too many future states and way too few past states. Remember, time wants balance. Think of it as a scale, with one side, the future, way heavier with probable states than the other side, the past. So, naturally, the universe that has been created is drawn to the future, so it can keep balance. In fact, time speeds up and goes as fast as it can go, and over time, as it approaches 0, the ultimate balance point of time, time slows down because more past states appear as time goes on, and balance is closer. Eventually, when they hit omega 0, time stops. Why does time stop at 0? Technically, if time moves to balance, it should be moving to the spot exactly in between 0 and positive alpha, right? Well, if you take a look at the SOAPS model, you will see that all the possible states are balanced out evenly with all the negative states. Since 0 is the only thing that can't be positive or negative, it is therefore the ultimate balance point between all positive and negative states, and this makes time drawn to it. Now you can see why 0 is the center of the SOAPS model. Every possibility is drawn to it. As Gavin G. Orban said, why is time attracted to 0? What causes absolute 0 to have such a powerful influence over time? What larger role does absolute zero play in the top-down picture of reality? The answer is simply that absolute zero is the ultimate point of balance in the space of all possibilities, and our probabilistic world is guided through the possible realm by that one single state in our future. Time eternally branches away from the positive alpha singularity out into the diversity of possibilities that exist between alpha and zero. And because time has a goal, a destination, then time does not get lost in the vast realm of infinite possibilities. The absolute zero of temperature, density, energy, gravity, volume, and time all are properties of a single state of perfect balance, which, similar to the zero of mathematics, divides apart two realms, a positive state space and an inverse negative state space. You can find evidence of the power and balance of zero even in your daily lives. Like, for example, zero is the center of the number line and is the center, the origin, of the coordinate plane. As we can see, zero is infinite balance, and in truth, it is in fact not nothingness, but rather full of every possible state. To go further, zero is absolute perfection, what many religious people would call the infinitely powerful God. As we have just seen, zero itself has the power to create singularities, also known as alphas, and maneuver them back towards zero in a way that creates all the complexities of our universe we see around us. In fact, all of the complex stuff that happens in our universe, from the shape of galaxies to the formation of stars and atoms to life itself, all stems from zero, a number so simple yet so infinitely complex internally. It is exactly what scientists hope for in the true nature of reality. But although already we have searched deep into reality, we have not still covered the entire SOAPS model. There are even more secrets waiting. Part 2, exploring the set of all possible states. So far, we have explored the positive and negative alpha and zero, what Kevin calls omega. But there is yet more to discover. So we know that so far, at the beginning of our universe, space and time were created from zero into the two alpha states. We know they both end at zero, the ultimate balance point. But what happens in between? Well, let's follow a universe's lifetime and see what happens. At the beginning, when the universe is very close to alpha, or just a little infant, the amount of possible things that can happen is very small, since there's just a soup of energy everywhere, without atoms or molecules. But as the universe cools down and expands, there become more and more possible things that can happen. The universe becomes more complex and diverse. For example, living organisms, being super complex, could not have formed in the early universe, but in the present day they can without difficulty. This is called divergence. However, after about halfway through its lifetime, the amount of possible states decreased rapidly until the universe hits zero and there is not a single possible state left. This is called convergence. If you put divergence and convergence together, you get the ovalish structure of the positive half of the SOAPS model with another equal inverse shape on the negative side to balance the positive one out. Omega zero is in the center because it is balanced, with positive and negative alphas on either side. Now we can finally see clearly the shape of possibility space. If you were to draw a line from an alpha to omega, that would represent the path a universe takes from its beginning to its end. The closer it is to the center of the oval, or the more straight the line is, the more likely it is for a universe to follow that line. A select group of these straight lines form the many worlds partition, or the very probable universes, where the laws of physics remain the same and lots of diversity exists. Our universe is one of these lines. But if you were to move further away from the safety of the many worlds into the wavy and curved lines, the universes that follow these lines would be more and more chaotic, even with universes where the laws of physics can break down and things like magic may actually exist. The further out you go, also, the less likely a universe will follow that line. At the very edges of the oval, the boundaries of the SOAPS, are the smooth and the lumpy states. These paths are so unlikely to happen, we might as well call them impossible. The smooth state would be a universe where all matter is completely and perfectly spread out in a symmetrical lattice-like state. This has no diversity whatsoever. The lumpy state is, you guessed it, lumpy. In this highly unlikely path, all of the matter and energy is pressed into half of the universe, with the other half consisting of perfectly empty space. You can see why this is nearly impossible. It defies entropy completely. In the negative possibility space, the smooth and lumpy states would be reversed though. Now congrats! You have learned everything about the soaps theory. However, there is one more shocking thing I must discuss. If we apply the soaps theory to reality, we get in return something shocking, amazing, and even a little frightening. We get not one universe, but an entire omniverse. Part 3. The implications of the set of all possible states. The set of all possible states is great and all, but without applying it to the everyday world, it doesn't mean anything. Alright then, let's apply it. When you do that, you see the Big Bang singularity of our universe to be the positive alpha, and you see that the final ending of our universe in the Big Rip scenario to be omega 0. And you can see that our universe is clearly moving away from the cosmic soup of alpha to the infinite void of omega. But wait a minute. Remember how earlier we talked about how there should be infinite singularities popping up in empty space? And if each of these singularities are drawn to omega in the same way our universe is, then shouldn't there be infinitely many universes that are all steadily moving from alpha to omega? Surprisingly, this is what we get when we apply the set of all possible states to our world. And if the set of all possible states is indeed true, then all of these other universes, what scientists call the omniverse, must also exist. There are a number of consequences that can happen with infinitely many universes. First of all, if the omniverse exists, then every possible path from alpha to omega is filled up by them. If that is true, then there might indeed be universes that have paths directly in the smooth and lumpy states. So, to sum up, anything that can happen will happen. And I mean anything. That's right, Star Wars and other stories exist out there, somewhere. Second, there would be infinitely many of you within the omniverse. Since all possibilities exist, there's a universe where you got into a car accident yesterday, or won the lottery, or, well, anything. Third, if the omniverse exists, then there will be a universe, or infinitely many in fact, where you, or an exact replica of you, which is basically you anyway, own the entire universe. So the next time you feel neglected, not special, or good for nothing, remind yourself that somewhere out there in the omniverse, you are the supreme ruler of infinitely many universes. Finally, to conclude this video, I must share with you something special. Many think our universe is dying as it is approaching zero, and that is moving towards ultimate disorder. Applying the set of all possible states theory, however, we can see that this is not the case. Our beautiful universe is not dying. It is in fact naturally merging with all the other infinite universes at zero, which is not empty and void, but full of all possible states. Zero is perfection. This is the basic nature of the set of all possible states and everything there is. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. This video was made by Alexandra Rafel and edited by Samuel Rafel. If you want more information on the set of all possible states or more amazing concepts about timelessness, please visit everythingforever.com or get the book Everything Forever, Learning to See Timelessness by Kevin G. Orban, who is the genius who came up with all of these ideas. However, his ideas are in desperate need of more support by people like you. If you happen to know a scientist or physicist interested with the nature of reality, please advise them to see Kevin's amazing website. We need to spread recognition of his ideas and his life's work. Even something as small as telling your friends could help us. Thank you for your support, and be sure to subscribe and like this video. Bye!